So surprise, surprise, the future is red for Charles Leclerc. In other news, water is wet, grass is green, and dad is never coming back from getting those cigarettes after all. But realistically, as with all things in Formula 1, the implications of the squiggle on this bit of paper goes far deeper than just the surface headline of Charles Leclerc signing a multi-year deal, whatever that means, and could potentially take us down a complete rabbit hole. The deal isn't nearly as sure-sounding or groundbreaking as everybody was expecting. So is this just the state of affairs in Formula 1 at the moment, or is something else at play here? Want to know what Leclerc's new contract means for the future of Ferrari? The devil is in the detail, but the Scuderia are keeping said details incredibly close to their chests for the time being. And stick around, because Leclerc's faith in the project may just make him a kingslayer in the years to come. So Charles Leclerc continues his reign in red, and while that reign has not led to any meaningful silverware outside of his 5 victories, really only 5? Okay, and pole positions, Leclerc's ongoing career at Ferrari hasn't always allowed him to take his destiny into his own hands. From strategy mishaps to under-delivery on the performance side of things, the Scuderia haven't always repaid the Monegasque's loyalty. However, the same could be said the other way round, with infamous crashes and cases of head loss letting slip opportunities to further increase the aforementioned career accolades. So far then, a real match made in heaven, a team with all the Italian passion in the world, backed by an unwavering fanbase, and a driver with the scary potential to be the biggest case of what if since Juan Pablo Montoya, with all the skill and desire to be a champion but just never putting the killer run together. The details on Leclerc's contract are scarce to say the least, with the overhyped 2029 hypothesis being blunted down to a multi-year contract, with plenty of escape clauses supposedly being laced into the fabric of said contract. According to Gazzetta dello Sport, the contract is long-term if both parties choose it to be. However, the claim that the publication put out as being a 5-year deal is, until confirmed by Ferrari, just expected to be speculation from the Italian news publication. They had this to say about the details of the deal to their understanding. Leclerc's stay in Maranello would be until 2029, regulated by exit clauses linked to performance after the 3rd year of the contract, with wages destined to grow over the years. Thus, Charles, assisted by manager Nicolas Todt, could go from his current earnings of €25 million to around double if he stays until the deadline, when he would be 31 years old. The performance clause will likely work both ways, with it being believed that Charles can walk away in 2027 if the team isn't providing for him, and Ferrari can pull the plug if they see a lack of conviction from the driver. This makes sense, with it giving Ferrari and Charles 2 seasons of the new regulations to prove to each other that they have what it takes to be a championship-winning partnership that they have so long dreamt of being. But if it turns out to be just that, a dream and not a reality, then the option is there for them to peacefully part ways. Gazzetta dello Sport would go on to say that it's Fred Vasseur's vision, as well as Charles' history with the team, that pushed the extension into fruition, with the publication going on to say, Leclerc has decided to rely completely on Vasseur's comeback plan. It has been difficult years for him at Ferrari so far. Leclerc certainly could not have expected so many highs and lows to follow at the Scuderia. However, it is clear that Leclerc's heart and loyalty is still with the Scuderia. It has been that way since he was a child. He is very confident that things can change. The reaction from other Italian papers was typically romantic, with talks of dreams, a continuation of the marriage, and a love between the two parties. But let's see if that lasts if the rollercoaster situation seen at Ferrari over the last decade fails to improve by the time the exit clauses come into play. The renewal of the marriage, for the meantime, is starting off on a positive footing, with team boss Fred Vasseur giving brief but strong comments on the commitment of Charles Leclerc to his Ferrari project moving forward. We know him for his incessant desire to push himself to the limit, and we appreciate his extraordinary abilities when it comes to fighting and overtaking in races. We are determined to give Charles a winning car, and I know that his determination and commitment are elements that can make the difference in helping us reach our goals. And Charles? Well, obviously he is delighted at the contract fiasco being behind him. I believe the best is yet to come, and I can't wait for this season to start, to make further progress and be competitive at every race. My dream remains that of winning a world championship with Ferrari. Someone who will be less than delighted that his deal is still up in the air is Carlos Sainz, with the Spaniard's contract tussle still ongoing with the Scuderia. While Leclerc has been the faster of the two drivers over the past couple of years by a small to medium margin, the first year of Sainz's career at Ferrari cannot really be ignored with much ease. The existence of that first season immediately removed the option for a Schumi-Barrichello-esque relationship, with Sainz giving Ferrari a positive issue to solve. Having two fast, comparably young and in their prime drivers to choose between is obviously going to cause some headaches, but Ferrari have clearly given their show of confidence to one over the other. The talk around Sainz shows his struggle to capture a deal beyond 1 or 2 years extension, with his love for the Scuderia and desire to race for the team long-term being very apparent. Whereas the language surrounding Charles's contract has always been long-term, multi-year, 2029 and such, and Gazzetta dello Sport would go on to speculate on the reason for Sainz's continued lack of extension, and it's likely for the reason we think it is. There is no shortage of questions regarding the future of the Spaniard. That is still pending. It's not that the extensions necessarily have to be communicated simultaneously, the fact remains that something is still missing. Said something that cannot be agreed upon is the length of the extension, with Ferrari thought to be keen on only giving him a single year to 2025 rather than the multi-year deal that he desires. Leclerc was always destined to be the poster boy, having been with the team from early in his development, so the fact that he has been retained so fervorously compared to his teammates is unsurprising. However, the suppression of the upstart who tarnished his shine in their first shared season points to perhaps just how fragile the Scuderia starboy image is. The goal for Leclerc from this point on is clear. You've been given the opportunity to be the dominant force within the team despite your teammates performing so closely to you over the past 3 years. Assert your dominance or embarrass the team who have put all of their faith into you. No more silly errors, no more cutesy lovable Charles with no on-track substance. Get the wins and chase the championship. Outside of the Maranello team, there is optimism that this year may be the year they finally take it to Red Bull and actually fight at the top, or at least push Red Bull all the way. The loudest voice proclaiming this is Nick Fry, the former Mercedes and Brawn CEO, with him giving an optimistic outlook on the Scuderia's chances in 2024. I think Ferrari will continue to improve. Fred Vasseur is very experienced as a team leader, and I think he'll provide the air cover from the pressures of the Italian media. I think he'll do a good job with that and keep the team calm. You have to be fairly unemotional. Ferrari would be my favorites to push Red Bull. It does seem like the paddock-wide recognition of Vasseur's qualities in helming the team are what is keeping the shine at Ferrari, following what would have been deemed a subpar finish to the season last year under any other leadership. Being beaten to second by a downtrodden Mercedes in the midst of an engineering crisis and personnel reshuffle is nothing short of embarrassing. However, it is clear that the placid team principal at the helm of the team for his first season in charge is not to be blamed for the blundering of second place, as he himself is addressing change within the team and needed to get a grip on the team's processes. It's clear that a lot of faith has been put into him, as much as Leclerc it could be argued, so he needs to ensure that he works in tandem with his #1 driver in order to make good on the beliefs of the rest of the Formula 1 world and actually take the fight to Red Bull next season.